So this is my resource, or my resource I'm going using for transition pieces. So the resource I was using was a digital resource using SolidWorks. I found it the best for this topic in particular because I was able to manipulate that resource instead of having to go do it out in cardboard. It was going to take a lot more time. But the resource I was doing was just a hopper, so it's going from one square to another. So it's transitioning from a larger surface to a smaller surface. So when I'm using that there in the class, I'm able to fold it out or flatten it out just using SolidWorks. And it's going to be the most effective way of doing it, I think, anyway. So from that, I can see I was able to use the drawings on SolidWorks and show here what the true lengths are and what true lengths you're going to have to find, because like students are going to have like such difficulty like visualizing true lengths.
Yeah.
From what I've seen anyway, like I always found that it was always tough to visualize them.
Yeah.
So that's what I can use with SolidWorks. Go on.
Will students have access to a file each, or will it be done on the board?
It'll be a file each, so I can hand out the file or have the file saved in a OneDrive, say, and let the students open it up. Be able to go into SolidWorks, open it up, manipulate it, flatten it out, see what the development looks like, see the true lengths, and kind of go from there. That's the plan, really.
Very good.
Going on again, that's just kind of explaining what is happening with the resource. But my assessment of the topic then, I was looking at the dust extraction on saws and table saws and machines in the woodwork room especially. So this kind of piece here is just transition piece. We're going from one larger surface to another. I started off kind of basic with the question, just to draw the elevation and plan. It was kind of just showing that I can see then whether they know how to visualize what's going on in the drawing and understand the dimension.
Yeah.
Complete the development, obviously, that's just kind of the higher order. So it's the higher level kind of, it's directed towards the higher level student. So if they can figure out that triangulation and figure out the true lengths and how to find the true lengths in that question. The last part of the question, sketch and notes describe the function of a transition piece in this machine. So this was kind of something different from from exams. It's kind of similarly seen, in construction and that.
Yeah.
You have to describe things with sketches and notes. I thought it was kind of relevant to here because it was able to. It kind of brings that design element of the design communication graphics into the exam. So we're not just focusing 100% on drawing. We're just bringing that kind of sketching ability into the exam as well, and it gives them that kind of flexibility to think for themselves and think critically and creatively. So that's the idea with the whole assessment.
Yeah, and how does that question, how does that help students understand the key principles that you outlined for? So
from in this part C of the question.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to figure out that they'll tell me here or how this transition piece is working. So they'll understand then if they're able to describe in a real life setting what this transition piece is doing. I'll know they'll understand what the transition piece actually means. So they'll be able to tell me, right, well, it's transitioning from one larger surface to a smaller surface. So that's what the transition piece is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that comes down to explaining what the key principles are, really. So that's the main idea with that question, or the main focus on it.